What's up, everybody? It's your man JFILT from HowToMakeVerysickbeats.com, and today I have another special guest from the Controllerise fam. This is Tvpes. Yes, and today we are utilizing the SP202 with Ableton. So let's get into it.
I'm looking for a sample right now. I'm plugging it. I already got my 202 set up. Setting up the recordings settings for the 202. Put it on the pad 3. Gonna put it on lo-fi 1 setting. Keep it mono. Keep it on trigger. Record it on the memory card so I can. Now I'm adjusting the record level so it doesn't peak too hard. That's why that little light's going. Keep it just right. I'm just gonna record that little piece. Now I'm gonna record from my 202 into Ableton. Arm it so I can record. Keep it a little lengthy. Get it on loop mode. I'm gonna see if there's any effects I want to use on this thing. I'm just gonna get right into it now. I'm just looking for the loop. Make sure it loops perfectly.
Gotcha.
That it's not jerky.
Gotcha.
It's a seamless loop. That it can loop no matter like forever, so it doesn't like have to. Yeah, I gotta fix my chop again. Whoops. Zoom in. Gotta be precise. Yep. Alright, now I'm gonna record that kick. On the kick, on this drum rack, there's this thing in Ableton called the drum rack. So it's kind of like your little MPC or whatever, because that's how Ableton works. It's like an MPC. So I use finger drumming, and Ableton's really cool with finger drumming. I use just these 3 little keys, but in Ableton you can change all these little yellow parts right here. They're all changing up and down. So I'm on this level, I guess you'd call it a level, and I'm just using the A button and assigning the kick to my A. So every time I hit the A, it's gonna do it as a one shot, basically. It's setting it up like you would on an SP or an MPC, just using your keyboard as a trigger, just in case if you don't have a MIDI controller. Just add a drum rack in your little pool right here, like this. You just drag and drop, and then this little red thing is how you arm each individual piece. But I separate the kick from when I'm sidechaining to the sample, because if you was to add more drums while I was sidechaining to this specific drum rack, it would still duck if I was to use a hi-hat or a snare, and I don't want that. I'd want just the kick, you know. I want the sample to breathe, to make it feel like every time the kick comes, it breathes. But I want the drums to lay on top so it could, ride with it. You know what I mean? Alright, now I'm on the other drum rack. Looking for a hi-hat. I'm gonna record the hi-hat. I'm gonna look for a snare. That's fine. And I'm gonna put the snare on my S control. I'm gonna record it. Another thing that I learned from another producer that taught me how to use Ableton is if you're trying to EQ things, there's this thing in Ableton right here. You see how this little pull-up bar's got like these little shapes and stuff? That's how you control the EQ band. So like this one will like you can cut it off. This one is like a sharp cutoff. This one right here is like a where it just starts. But this one right here, it looks like a little hexagon, is what Ableton used to have everything. Is like I was just told it's the best one when you're trying to get things up. Because it's more of like a point instead of it being like a curve, you know what I mean? So I keep everything, when I'm trying to raise everything up in the mix with the EQ band, I keep it all on these little hexagon circles. It's just something that I learned. That's alright. You just really gotta play it by ear, man. You gotta. There's no like right way to do everything because not every kick's gonna be the same, not every snare's gonna be the same, etc. So you just gotta play around with it. You gotta get a feel for it. Can't be afraid to experiment, man. You got trial and error. That's how it is. Preach. That's how it is, man. Now I'm gonna add a bass. Go to analog, go to bass. My favorite basses I use is either the dark or the wow. Dark is more subby, wow is more like punchier, I guess. It just depends. So when you have an instrument in Ableton, you can, just like I said in the kicks, you could change the pitch or the levels and stuff. Now when you have a bass, it's automatically up in the middle C range. You could lower the pitch like with the Z and X cue, with the Z and X buttons. And then I'm just gonna record a simple bass line. You know, I record like simple note bass lines. I'm not like Thundercat or something, or you know what I mean. I just kind of keep it simple. Also, another tip when you're adding effects to stuff in Ableton. Let's just say I wanted to put a saturator on the snare, but instead of putting it on the individual one, I went like this. So like I wanted to put it on the drum rack. When you see how it separates everything, when you do that, Ableton is really weird because it assumes that it wants you to put in the whole mix instead of it on individual. So just like really pay attention on when you add effects to certain things, because it will put it on the whole mix. It'll kind of like make everything saturated instead of just your individual drum sounds. Because like you hear, because I wanted to put on the snare and now it's made everything because it's separated. If it's separated, it means it's on the whole mix. If it's like with your individual things, it means it's with that. So we don't want that. I want it on just the snare. Just bring it up just a bit. And then, you know, what I always do is I had my little... Yeah, that's me. Yep. 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 That's it.
So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. More videos to come. Check out all the links down below. As a matter of fact, Tapes, where can we find you on social?
Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and Twitter.
Cool, and I'll have all his links down below. So we'll see y'all next time. Peace and positive energy.